One of the most commonly asked tomato questions on this channel at this time of year is, why are my tomato leaves curling? It seems to be the cause of a lot of stress and sleepless nights among new gardeners, and maybe some experienced gardeners as well. Most times it's nothing to worry about. And by the end of this video, you'll know if you should stop worrying, or if there is some worrisome issues and what you can do to solve them. Hey, I'm Brian with Next Level Gardening. If you're looking to join an online garden community that offers tips, tricks, and support to help take your garden to the next level, you're in the right place. Get started now by clicking subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss anything. Now let's get growing. If you're having this issue, let me know down in the comments, and if you have a tried and true method that works for some of these issues, put that down in the comments as well. So there are three causes of tomato leaf curl. One is physiological, meaning kind of environmental. One is viral, and one is caused by herbicide drift. So let's start with physiological or environmental. We're talking lack of water. We're talking about excessive heat. We're talking about wind, dry conditions. Now the symptoms is typically the plants will remain their same vibrant green color. The leaves might get a little leathery, so a little thicker than normal. And the leaves roll upwards at the edge toward the middle. This plant is displaying some of that right now. You can see the leaves are not laying flat. They're curling up on the edges. Now they can curl down, but most often they're going to curl up. And the reason for this is it is a reaction to some environmental stress, most of the time heat, dry conditions, wind. And the thing is, these leaves are open to the sun to collect sunlight for photosynthesis. However, that also leaves a large surface area exposed for evaporation, transpiration, and general loss of moisture in the plant. Now, a lot of people's first reaction to that would be to run out and, put the hose on there for a while because it looks like your plants are dying. That is probably not the issue and may cause more problems than it would help. It's not a lack of water in the soil, and this is where the finger test comes in handy. Don't think I've mentioned that in a while, but stick your finger in the soil a couple of inches and see if you feel any moisture. If you do, don't water it. What is generally happening is that the water being lost from the plant is not able to be replaced by the roots quick enough. So there's more water leaving the leaves than the roots can possibly pull in. And so it's going to close its leaves to reduce that surface area that the sun can touch and that water can evaporate from. So this doesn't worry me at all. Throw some shade cloth over it on the hottest days, that will help. But really, there's no real reason to panic when this happens. It's just a plant's reaction to stress. And the same thing's gonna happen in dry, windy conditions, just to pull in, protect itself from that dryness and weather that storm. Too much nitrogen in the plant can also cause leaves to roll up like that, but that's pretty rare and that's probably not the case. With any of these physiological conditions, it's not going to affect the plant's growing and fruiting. Now, unless you have temperatures in excess of 90 degrees for extended periods of time, and then it's going to cause the flowers to drop. But that's a completely separate issue, and I actually tackled that in last week's video. I will link that down below in the video description. The next cause is herbicide drift. Now, if you use Roundup anywhere in your yard, even if it's not directly in your vegetable garden, or you live near somebody who does, that mist from that spray could end up on your tomato plant. And you're gonna know because not only will they roll up like in the physiological symptoms, but they're gonna start cupping. So all of the edges, including by the leaf and at the tip of the leaf, are going to cup upward. You're also going to see the stem bend down sharply like that, and you might even see some yellowing or browning on the leaves. Now, it only affects the leaves that were actually touched by the herbicide, and if there was a lot, that could kill it completely. But if it wasn't enough to kill the plant, just hurt it, then the new growth should be okay, and everything should move along okay after that. So just give it some time on this one and don't spray herbicides. Now, viral issues are pretty much another story. And with a lot of viruses, and there are hundreds out there, typically your plant is going to be a goner. There's not really any way to bring it back. One of the least destructive viruses for tomatoes is curly top virus. And I say least destructive because it's not super contagious. And your plant, if it's kind of a full-grown plant, it can keep growing and it can keep fruiting. Maybe not as much as a healthy plant, but if it's a newer plant, it might kill it. Now the symptoms of that are at the top of the plant, you're going to get leaf roll or leaf curl, just like the physiological. You're also going to get kind of a twisting of the stems and the stems pointing upward. They're just going to look weird. And one way that you can tell the difference between a physiological and a viral symptom is if you go out at night and you run the water for quite a while, really saturate the soil, not to the point of flooding, but get the soil wet. Give it overnight, come back in the morning before the sun hits it, and if the leaves are uncurled and back to normal, it's probably a physiological symptom. If they are not, then you're probably dealing with something viral. Now, curly top doesn't necessarily spread from plant to plant like, let's say, powdery mildew would. Curly top is spread by the leafhopper bug. And what the leafhopper bug does, if it bites an infected plant and then bites an uninfected plant, it's going to pass that virus along to the next plant. So they don't get it by simply leaves touching or rubbing together or whatever, or growing close together. They get it from the leafhopper bug. Now, there is a way to prevent some of that from happening with the leafhopper, and that is to try to prevent the leafhopper from getting a good hold on your garden. What you want to do in this situation is attract natural predators of the leafhopper bug to your garden. Now, natural predators are lacewings, ladybugs, and damselbugs. You can plant cosmos, coreopsis, and daisies to attract ladybugs and lacewings to your garden, and lavender and thyme to attract damselbugs. So if you plant those in the near vicinity of your tomatoes, you'll bring in those good beneficial insects that will prey on the leafhopper and hopefully prevent them from spreading your viruses from plant to plant. Another common virus for tomatoes is the tomato mosaic virus. And that is going to present itself as you're going to get leaf curl. You're going to have smaller leaves on the plant. They're going to be stunted. You're going to have some mottling of color in the leaf itself. And you're also going to, when you pick the fruit and cut it open, it's going to have brown inside. And that's all symptoms of the tomato mosaic virus. This one does spread easily. You do not want to keep the plant in your garden. If you find out that you have this, you want to very carefully remove it from the garden without touching any other plants, and do not add it to your compost. Get it out of your entire property. Another common virus is the tomato yellow leaf curl virus. And it pretty much is just what it says. You're going to see yellowing around the edges of the leaves. You're going to see the leaves either curling down or cupping in the same manner as with herbicide drift. And you're also going to see your flowers and even fruit dropping off of the plant. The plant could also very well be stunted. And this virus is spread by whitefly. So if you see whitefly and you have these symptoms, chances are it's going to be this virus. Now, fortunately, if you already planted the plants that I mentioned for the leafhopper bug and to attract lacewings, ladybugs, and damselbugs, those same 3 bugs take care of whitefly as well. So it's a twofer. Cosmos, coreopsis, daisies, lavender, and thyme will attract those good bugs to the garden, and they will feast on your whiteflies and your leafhoppers. This is another bad one that can spread, so it's best to carefully remove the plant from the garden and from your entire property. I hope this video calmed you down if you were starting to see some of these symptoms. Again, more often than not, it's physiological and nothing to be concerned about. If you learned something, please give the video a thumbs up. It would really help me out, pushes the video out to a wider audience, and I would definitely appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, consider it, and I will see you next time.